Hey everybody, thanks for watching. Today what we have in front of you is a new knife from Baron Sun Cutlery, and this knife right here, it caught my attention because it is a budget folder that is made here in the United States. So I thought I'd pick it up and show it off a bit. But before I go any further, I'll mention right here in the background, you'll see a BladeHQ logo. I am not sponsored or anything, but I did notice that this knife came out, and recently BladeHQ had a promotion where if you buy any knife from Baron Sun, they would send you a free t-shirt with the order. So that's what this is in the background. I honestly just thought it looked really cool. So it's not the only reason I bought the knife, because I noticed on BladeHQ, I always browse their new arrivals section. I saw this one on their new arrival section, and then a few days later they ran that promotion, so that was kind of enough to tip me over towards buying this knife. So that's why you're seeing the logo in the background, but I think it's a classy t-shirt, so very cool. But Baron Sun Cutlery, if you aren't aware, they are a knife company. They make knives right here in the United States, which is of course kind of an exception to the rule nowadays, and what makes them different than other US manufacturers like ZT and Benchmade is that most of their knives are going to be budget offerings, so things that most people can afford. They do have their higher end stuff, but they make modern folding knives, they make traditional folding knives. So this was an interesting one that I saw, and honestly, when I first saw it, it reminded me a lot of the Kershaw Cryo. So that is one of the reasons also why I picked it up. But it is a nice EDC size folder, so let's take a look at it and see what it has to offer. But of course, the price, first off, I said this was a budget knife, and it cost me $26.95. So that's a pretty good price for a folding knife made in the United States. The blade steel is $440, and so for that price point, made in the United States, you are not going to get anything fancier than that. So this blade steel is $440 steel, so it's not going to be the greatest in actual use, but again, that's what I expect for this level of knife. The handles are stainless steel, and you might say, oh, it's just another junk knife. Stainless steel, 440 blade, it's a gas station knife. And you might be tempted to think that, but let's go a little bit deeper. Take a look at the handles here. Stainless steel. Let me show you a closer look at them. So take a look, it has a brushed steel finish on it, which looks really nice. But when I hold the profile at it, not only can you see the centering, but look at how thin the handles are. So this knife right here, super skinny. And so they wanted to cut down the weight, I could tell, because they made these scales, you know, almost paper thin. And so they are steel, but the fact that they are so thin means that the knife still is very lightweight. So I think that's really cool. It has a deep carry pocket clip, so it's only accessible for right side tip-up carry. Has the logo on there. And I think this is a new logo they must be using, so it's just branded Baron Sun. So it's not under their Bear Ops brand. But it's a deep carry clip. There does a little bit that sticks out of your pocket when you're wearing it. But it is deep carry style. So take a look at the profile right there. We do have dual thumb studs, and I think, again, that might be a downside for a knife that's a really great flipper. So talking about the flipping action on this knife, believe it or not, from what I can tell, I haven't taken it apart. I don't want to take it apart because it works really well right now. But I do believe this knife runs on bearings. So check that out. Super slick opening, slick closing. So you're getting a knife on bearings made in the USA, $26.95. That's really cool. So we do have a frame lock design, and that liner lock, or that frame lock, the actual lock bar is super skinny. And I think that just comes with the territory. So first thing out of the box, I was worried it would have play, but it's actually really tight. There's absolutely no play in the blade. And again, the fact that we're getting it at this price point is really cool. So let's take a closer look at the markings on the blade. There's not much there, and it may even be hard to see on camera. But if you look really close, it says Baron Sun. I'm trying to get the right angle on this. Baron Sun, Jacksonville, Alabama, USA, 2019. And the model number of this knife is the 112. Although when I looked it up on BladeHQ's website, they just call it the 4-inch flipper or manual folding knife. So again, even though it is the 112, They don't really have a specific name for it other than the model number, which again is a downside too. They should come up with something cool for this, because I think this is a nice knife that could fit a lot of people's EDC tasks just because of the lightweight. All right, let's take a quick look at the weight of the knife. So it looks like we're weighing in at 2.27 ounces. So still pretty lightweight for a stainless steel knife. Let's do a quick size comparison. So here's the Baron Sun. Let's compare it to the Kershaw Blur on the top there. And on the smaller side, let's also compare it to the CRKT Pilar right there. So it gives you a decent idea of size of the knife. So there we see it pivot to pivot. But yeah, so color me impressed. You know, Baron Sun, if you are into the knife industry at all, they don't have the greatest reputation. Some of their knives are pretty low quality because, you know, they are made in the United States, so that's a positive. But they're known as one of the lesser brands that's made in the United States because a lot of the stuff that comes out of their factory isn't always the highest quality. Sometimes their quality control isn't there. And so people buying a Baron Sun knife, it almost is a joke at some points where people say, you know, it may not be good quality or not. So I was pleasantly surprised by this knife. I kind of took a gamble on it. It was a little bit risky to buy it, but I decided to, and it actually paid off. So their new box branding actually looks really nice. So their logo that's on the shirt as well is right here. Very simple box, but this is much better for presentation if you're giving it as a gift because it's nice and colorful. So I thought I would show that off a little bit too. So again, if you want to buy a low-cost USA-made folder, something comparable to this could be the Kershaw Link, which isn't really much more money, but it's made by Kershaw, which does have a slightly higher reputation in the industry. But if you just want something a little different, I think this would work out for that. You know, it does fit quite the nice niche. Open length is 7 inches, 4 inches closed, and the blade length is just under 3. So 2 7/8 inches when opened. So really nice. But if you have any questions about this knife or anything, please do leave a message. Hope this answered any questions you might have or opened you up to a new knife you may have never heard about. But thanks for watching, everybody. Bye-bye.